You need a little help making this Christmas season special for you and your family? No worries. Come talk to your friends at the Force Asia Credit Union for a Belle Noire loan. Yes, our Belle Noire loan promotion is here again. You can get a loan of as much as $15,000 with a deposit as low as 5% and rock bottom interest rates with as much as 36 months. Yes, 3 years to pay. This means very low monthly repayments, the lowest in the business. Come, let us help you get these home appliances and furniture that you want or to fix and paint your home for the season. Whatever the need, we can assist with a Belle Noire loan. Belle Noire Loan 2022 promotion runs until December 31st. Special conditions apply. For more information, call us at 459-7706 or email us at info@fsjcu.com. Quittez Force Asia Credit Union, Edo ou passez à Belle Noire.
This Christmas, we're bringing out the discounts on all your favorite items. Come into White's Choice and catch unmatched discounts while shopping. Find your discount on the bell attached to the products of the day. It's that easy to save big and be merry at White's Choice. Promotion runs throughout December. Visit us at the Lafayette Plaza for all your automotive and car care supplies. Call us today at 459-3969 or WhatsApp 728-4333. Wise Choice. Committed to quality.
You asked for more live and relevant talk shows, and we heard you. 88.5 Super FM presents House Guest, a brand new, fresh fortnightly feature airing on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. House Guest will showcase a cadre of professionals from doctors and entrepreneurs to the next door friendly neighbor. So tune in as we network the community with a platform for open, frank, and informative discussion. Only on Super FM, your community radio station.
Eighty-eight point five at Sofa FM. Good morning to those of you locking it down. It's another episode of House Guest for today, Wednesday, the 14th of December, 2023. It's now 13 after 10 in Surface St. Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning to our beautiful officers who have graced us here with their presence. It's a pleasure. Let me welcome back my dear friend. Good morning to you. I missed you. It's nice to see a familiar face. Miss Sejan, let me reach out to Mr. Stephen. Good morning to you as well. And not new to this community, but new faces to me. This is why I would allow you to introduce yourself. A pleasant good morning to all of you here today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How you guys feel amidst the Christmas season? Let me extend season greetings to you guys. What preparations have you made?
Very little.
Yeah.
Very little.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's been busy, quite busy at work.
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're actually here. First and foremost, we've seen, and we cannot hide from that, we've seen an increase in crime. We've seen a lot of brutality on the grounds, and I know it greatly affects the police. Even right here in Suffolk, not too long ago, there was a fatal shooting. I would love for you guys to maybe comment on such, especially as crime is escalating in the midst of Christmas season, burglary, and there's so much we can speak about, and hence why we are here this morning. Thank you so much again for facilitating.
Not a problem at all. I just want to say,
Yes, you can.
okay, so our amazing team here of officers from the Community Relations Branch, Southern Division, is just a fraction of our numbers. We have from the Mikud district, our longest serving CRB officer, and she doesn't hold that title lightly. She's quite hardworking and dedicated, and she carries out her work quite immaculately. So this is Miss WPC 838 Maura Emmanuel. Good morning. Yes. Of course, Mr. Stephen is no stranger to the studio or the district, and he as well has joined our ranks at the Community Relations Branch, SVC 389 Lyndon Stephen, and I am Corporal 244 Colin Saint Jean.
Nice. First of all, for persons who are not really aware, please detail in terms of CRB the functions, community purposes.
Yes. Well, actually, the Community Relations Branch, otherwise known as CRB, is the branch or the unit at the Royal St. Lucia Police Force that's responsible for community activities, right? So whether it's reaching out with community projects, going to the schools, delivering lectures, seminars, reaching out to parents. You know, we are the ones who go out there and we do a lot of work to build that rapport between the community and the police. So anything that would fit in that sphere, that is where you'd find the community relations branch.
Definitely. And my knowing is that you work with a specific group in suffering. Not so long ago, you were engaged on the ground as well. What exactly did you plan for the kids for this time around for Christmas?
This has been quite a battle because, as you know, the Royal St. Lucia Police Force does not take the crime situation lightly. So there has been a lot of background work that has been happening, which will be coming out for everyone to see very soon. Um, so that in itself will take quite a lot of effort and resources, especially human resources, to have happen. Um, the group you're referring to, the Rising Stars Police Youth Organization, we have three chapters, including Sufre, Mikud, and Viewfort. It piloted in Viewfort in 2016, and it has grown to the other districts. Sufre has been on hold more or less since I left the district as the CRB officer, but we have not forgotten, and we have made headway in putting on a sensitization drive to try and get our numbers back. And there was a while where we did not have a CRB officer for the district, and with that, it made it very difficult to continue operations for the club. So, as much as Mr. Stephen is here with us, he's back, but he has other roles and responsibilities at the department, which makes it very difficult to continue with the program. However, as soon as we can put on a group of dependable volunteers to assist in carrying on the work of the organization, we would be continuing.
Okay.
Yes.
Permit me to ask, in terms of the initiative where less fortunate persons benefited from grocery voucher hampers, is that still continuing?
Um, well, with the was it Police Week? Police Week that was handled by a committee this time around, and they were the ones responsible for putting that together. So the districts would not be receiving it as we did in the same fashion as last year, but yes, there is still that presence where persons will be receiving, and some have received actually. Yes, some have received.
Okay. So let's look at the burning issue of crime. As officers, I would love for you to actually, make a plea of compassion, if I were to speak, because a lot of our young persons are dying by the guns.
Well, as we've seen recently with the recent state of crime and the how heinous it is and gruesome. I mean, and when we look at it overall, it spares no person, no culture, no class. It's across the board. It's like it's an equal opportunity predator. And so when we look at it, it affects everybody. It affects all walks of life. It affects all walks of business. From the students upwards to the adults and the senior citizens, everybody's affected. So our plea as police officers, but as persons, as St. Lucians, as human beings, first of all, even before we are police officers, our plea is that persons recognize that these things do not bring any pride or anything to the community or to the persons in the community on a whole, at large, sorry. So our plea is that persons turn away from crime and turn away from drugs and violence, and do something constructive, do something that would make your family proud, your community proud. For example, Sufra has a football team, and when they go out and they do good, the community feels proud that the football team has gone out and done good. But when you hear shooting in Sufre, it makes Sufre look bad. When you hear of a homicide in Sufre, Sufre looks bad because they say, oh, just Sufre catch you in a lot. So nobody doesn't Sufre here. So it brings a dark cloud over the community. And so our plea is that, we engage in positive things instead of negative things that bring our community down. So that is our plea as police officers in the community.
I fully agree. Also, I think we've moved away from the culture where let's be each other's keeper, let's look out for each other's children. And even what we've seen in society, the children sometimes, if you were to correct them on such behavior, the parents would come at you. And we see a lot of that happening in Sofre in
Yes.
particular as well.
Yes.
And then sometimes even the police would as much as they may not have enough resources and manpower, but they would try their utmost to actually curb the loitering. This is a fact that I know. Mr. Stephen, I know you've had your experiences with that matter as well. How best were you able to cope?
Um, what I have found, and what in my little time at CRB, is that the children are usually a reflection of the parents, or the wider society. It doesn't necessarily have to be the parents, but the wider society. What they
I
see.
would say I don't really agree.
well,
You sometimes as a parent,
okay,
you raise your child in the best possible
okay.
manner.
The wider society. Let's not heat on the parents. The wider society, the community, because sometimes you see children behaving in manner. They portray such mannerisms, and you wonder like, why is the child behaving that way? And then you find out, who they hang out with, who their friends are, what they do, and it all clicks that but sometimes, and in certain situations we know of that we might not want to speak of, the parents are wonderful people, well mannered, well raised, well behaved, and then the children are just the total opposite of the parents. And as most times you speak to the parents and they say, "Ma pa sav ki sa pou fè ako, ma pa sav ki kote mo ale wrong epi." And it is again, it's a community responsibility. Because I say this to say that they have situations where kids don't go to school. And maybe the parent leaves for work in the morning and says, you know what, Jonathan, go to school and prepare everything for you to go to school. And then that child would not go to school, they would go to Hummingbird Beach. And nobody at Hummingbird Beach will be like, but why aren't you in school? You should be in school, go to school. No. They will have that child there on the beach, engaging in whatever activities they're engaging in. So that's what we're missing. We're missing that community effort. The community should be the ones saying, hey, you know what? You should be in school. You should not be on the beach. Or you should be in school. You should not be on the waterfront. It does not have to be the police all the time to do those things. The community must step up and do what they're supposed to do as a community. And there we can see we will thrive as a people.
Which is true, but I believe a lot of the times they believe the police, has the manpower as well to do so because some of those children, they're not the best bunch to deal with sometimes.
That is true. That is
Even
true.
to the adults, it has happened where parents take kids out on social events with them and particular hours. I know Miss Sage and I, we've had discussions on certain, issues arising from that as well. And even I'm not against the various matches that takes place, but again, the hours when it's ended and the kids still loiter, after maybe 11, 12. I mean, shouldn't be on the streets on that given time.
Yes. Yes. And
I don't know if you wish to share anything as well,
Okay,
your sentiments, your relation, having those various situations you've had to work with as well.
just to add, what you find in behaviors with children, you find that the behavior that you would get children display, it could be as a result of them, the pairs that they keep, majority of the times. And sometimes, just like we indicated, we said that you raise your child in the best way possible. Yes, you do, but they out in a setting, school setting, different children, different backgrounds, different homes, and then you would understand why sometimes some children behave in the way that they do just because they're out there. So I mean, we as parents have to continue. We would like for parents to at least play a bigger part in the kids' lives so that we can see the changes that we want. Because yes, you speak to your child at home, your child is in a different setting in the school. When they come back home, you'd have to reinforce. keep them in check, continue to check on them in order for us to get the results that we are really looking for in our children of today.
I love hearing that, really and truly. And I think what again, the support.
Yes.
Families do not have the necessary support
Yes.
systems when it comes to dealing with the behavior of certain children, even to that extent where I can maybe when you have the differently able children as well. And I think there should be more programs, especially from the grassroots as well. Um, Also, I know there's been the cry with resources, the police, and what has been the update on that as well. I see a smile. Things are nice and dandy once I see you smiling.
No, I think that smile was probably misleading.
Still having a few challenges.
Absolutely, we've been promised certain resources, and I must say that some of them have been issued. However, we're still lacking in many ways. Resources is across the board. You speak to other persons in other departments and in other, sectors across, and they would tell you that the issue of resources is just unbearable sometimes, and it leaves us to the point where we have to become creative because we are passionate about our job and would like to see certain things happen. So you go out of your way to ensure that you can at least um, deliver on this or that. So you you tap into your creativity to ensure that your objectives are met. Yes.
I'm not ruffling any feathers. It's been said most of the time that the police, they're not doing nothing at all. They just sit at the police station. So you guys are here to defend yourself. And sometimes even when a report is being made, this is where they said, I called, it's over half an hour. Nobody came to my assistance. I called back and we're coming, we're sending somebody. And they said sometimes nobody ever turns up.
What I have found, Miss Epifan, in many instances, these are the very same persons who receive assistance from the police in a very timely fashion, but just because they're upset, they would say anything to get under your skin or to get a reaction from you because they need you just as upset as they are. There are many times when they would come to the station and say, I've been here 125 times and nothing is happening, and they go into the local palace with you and you're not supposed to get upset because you're not a human being, but we tap into our professionalism and our customer service and we handle that situation. Many times, the persons who make those comments, what action did you request from the police? That is a very big question. Matters that should have gone before the court, they ask for a warning. A warning does not prevent an issue from reoccurring, right? We give stern warnings, we let persons know, we educate persons about the laws that they
Transgressed.
yes, however, that does not tell you that that matter would not reoccur, right? One of the best ways to ensure that the matter is handled effectively is to take the matter before the court and let the magistrate decide on how penalties are issued and what have you. You understand? We have discretion in certain areas. You understand? However, we always encourage persons to take the matter before the court, whether they put the person on bond or they're fined or sentenced, whatever the case it is. However, to ensure matters do not reoccur, that is one of the best ways to go about. However, you would come, there are certain persons they come, my man top one my Lord, yes, sir, just buy a warning by me. You issue the warning, and as soon as you get back to the station, they're calling you again, telling you another offense has been committed. But does that mean that we did not do our job? We did. It's just not in the manner that you'd like for it to happen.
Okay.
And,
What?
and if I can add that we've seen as well that some persons have taken the matter to court and it reoccurs. So if it
In
reoccurs,
cases like that, what happens?
well, it's up to the police cannot take any decision on their own. You are the complainant. You are the one making the report. So when you come to the station, you have three options. You either make a report for future reference. That is to say, you make a report just to record that you're making a report. Then you have the other option that you want a verbal warning to be issued, where the police go and talk to the person, inform the person that they have broken the law, and they have wronged you in some sort of way, and you are asking for a verbal warning. And the third option is that the matter is taken before the courts. So a statement will be recorded from you, and then you take the person the magistrate, and the magistrate will deal with the issue. Some people are placed on a bond, some people are fined, some people are sent to jail. Sometimes it happens that when the person comes from jail or the bond is done, it reoccurs.
So
There's,
what about a restraining order?
all of those things happen, but it has to go before the courts with a restraining order. You understand? And again, in the reoccurrence of these issues, does that mean that the police did not do their job?
I think a lot of the times, I mean, in terms of the report, the procedures, if you have to deal with the judicial aspect of it, these things need to be communicated. A lot of the time, they may not really understand,
Yes.
the procedures into doing things in terms of, yes, I'm coming to the station, I'm making that report, and the act of now for now. But this is when no, there were chains of commands. There were steps in doing things, protocols with any and everything. So people really need to get that in the clear. What I would love you to speak to, people say it's nothing at all, it's my vehicle, I can do whatever I want. The loud music damaging my eardrums most of the times. And it may get worse, it's the festive season. So speak to that. Permits are needed most of the times. If it's exceedingly
I
loud,
wish the traffic officer was there. Was there this morning.
no one will come for you guys.
I think this is something that's, I don't want to say primarily in the purview of traffic, because as police officers, all of us have to cover it. But it is an offense. You cannot operate loud music in this country without a permit at all. At your home, at a bar, by the beach, at all. If you have to operate loud music, you need a permit. And those vehicles you see going around blasting music, they need a permit as well. And you will know for a fact that they don't have the permits, the necessary permits to do so. I don't think any officer at all will give somebody a permit to drive loud, to drive with the music loud all over the town, disturbing people's peace. And now I see the new trend. They start mounting up the speakers on top of the vehicles. And I'm thinking to myself, how ridiculous can you be to put bolts on top of a vehicle, to put speakers to play music for? Who are you playing for? You have a dance or something? But some people, that's the livelihood. They get paid to play at events, and those people get their permits and get things in order. But we still find that there are persons who just drive around with loud music, no permit, anything at all. And that, I am saying right now, that is against the law. And if stopped or if found doing that, they will be ticketed and fined.
Speak to me in terms of community policing. Will there be an increase with the season, and speak to burglaries as well?
Yes, there will be an increase in community policing, because we find anytime the season comes around, there is an upsurge in burglaries and petty crimes and stuff like that. But we also want persons to take hold of their own. People have to be responsible for their own stuff, and we see now that everybody's installing cameras. Everybody's getting. There are lines of security. There are different levels of security. You get a dog. In instances where you cannot have a dog, you get a camera. In instances where cannot get a camera, you have a neighbor. You have somebody to look out for you. You have to install those lines of defenses. Make sure your windows are closed when you live in the house. Make sure your doors are locked. If you live in your house, leave a light on the outside, or leave a light on the inside, so that if somebody comes up, somebody can see that, hey, this person is locked. When you have a house on its own, pitch black, no dogs, no cameras, I'm not saying that people supposed to burglarize your house, because that's not the way it's supposed to be, but it happens. So to protect yourself, put little things in place so that you can protect it. That's all we're saying. These things happen, that's life. But we have to protect ourselves, because the police cannot be everywhere all the time. The police operate most of the time based on reports. Somebody makes a report, the police respond. So it's like a responsive unit. We are proactive in that sometimes. We are proactive in terms of doing the patrols. But imagine we're patrolling Fosse Jacques and somebody burglarizes your house in Fokako. Are you saying that the police is not supposed to go to Fosse Jacques and they're supposed to be in Fokako all the time? And if you're in Fokako 1 and somebody burglarizes your house in Fort Beignet, are you saying the police are supposed to be in Fort Beignet all the time? We cannot be everywhere all the time. So the responsibility lies back to you to find innovative ways of protecting yourself. Get a dog, put up cameras. Right now, you can put up a camera as cheap as $50 and it can be on your phone. You check it online 24/7. There are things that you can put in place to protect yourself. And we advise and we are pleading with the public to get those things and protect yourself, your family, your livelihood, and whatever else you own.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stephen. Another issue we see, careless driving.
Mm.
No thoroughfare. Most of the times, persons just drive into lanes unauthorized, and they still believe it's the right. I can just drive into that street. I can just park anywhere. Like it's not even a problem. A solution.
Mhm.
Um, a reminder of the regulations.
Well, there will be more streets, more officers on the street during the season. So you will find an upsurge in tickets. And I know people, if everybody is crying that they don't have any finances, that their money is low, I don't think that people should be placing their vehicles in positions for them to be getting tickets and fines. Because I think the cheapest ticket is 250. And in this, what we call guava season, I don't think you'll be wanting to put $250 out of your pocket to go and pay a fine. And if that, because normally when you issue a ticket, there is a date that you pay before or you pay by. And if that date comes, the matter is called at court. And if you don't appear or if you don't give a reasonable excuse as to why you were parked there, it automatically doubles. And a warrant is placed for you. Either you, when the warrant is out, when they approach you, that warrant is either you pay or you go to jail. There's no answer, so there's no arguing it at that point. So my advice to people is to park properly. And another issue that I've found is sometimes there's an activity in the community and the police officers put signs, no parking signs. And some people will say, oh, Lamaka wait, so Lamaka park. The government road does not belong to you. It's the government road. You are allowed to park there at certain times. If there's a no parking sign on that particular day, or if it's for the week or for the whatever, you do not park there. Because at the end of the day, the road belongs to the government and not you. If you want parking, parking supposed to be in your yard or in your car park. If you are allowed to park there and there is a no parking sign, you should observe the no parking sign. So please, we are begging people to please adhere to the traffic. Everybody went to traffic school. Everybody went to driving school. Everybody knows what they and cannot do. So we should not be out there begging people to do what they promised to do at driving school.
Curiosity. I'm sure a lot of persons want to know in terms of the issuing of the traffic tickets,
Hmm.
to be more mindful, and of course, folks be vigilant and pay attention to the various signage
Hmm.
to avoid, being ticketed.
Yes.
Ms. Senja, you wish to share any? We know there were always challenges, but I commend the force for the
Yes,
efforts.
absolutely. There is a program that we are very excited about. And one of the things persons are always questioning, what is the police doing about crime? What is the police
Hmm.
doing about crime? We fail to realize that crime is not just a law enforcement issue, but a lot of the times it boils down to a social issue. And with that, um, it has to be addressed in a more in-depth manner. And when you bring programs and activities forward, a lot of the times the social partners will be asking you about sustainability and not just the surface, dealing with the issue on the surface, but something, like I said, a little bit more in depth. So, with that, we have been working very closely with the Princess Trust International for almost a year now. We've had a series of training sessions and workshops, meetings, just to ensure that everything is in place. Um, we are very close to delivering a 12-week program called Team. Team is a 12-week program where participants would be challenged to develop themselves personally and professionally. We are targeting persons between the age of 18 to 30. Um, During that time, we'll be working on their confidence, their employability skills, education training. It's a 7 component program, right? Where we'd have the introduction week where we cover some basic stuff. There's a residential component as well where they're required to stay indoors for a week. Um, there's a community project aspect as well. The next steps component of the program would be touching on their employability skills, right? So we'll be doing both the hard and soft um, skills,
Skills.
right? Um, Added to that is a team challenge. So on the first round, the community project, they will do a project for the community, but the team challenge would be with the community. So they would have to learn something about the community that they would be um, delivering the
Challenge.
volunteer activity for. There's also a work attachment um, aspect where persons would have internship for 2 weeks. So, and of course, the final celebration week where everything would just culminate and would celebrate the achievements of the young persons. So, we'll be working very closely, or we have been working very closely with various sectors of the community, putting that program together. We are due to start on the 9th of January, and the program will run until the end of March. It's a pilot program, I would have to say. So that pilot is focused basically in the Beaufort area. And coming out of that, we've already received approval and monetary donations for another two cohorts. So more than likely, we'll be branching out of Sufre after the first program is completed.
Okay. With the CRB units, we know the year is close to um, ending, and we have 2023. What do you guys envision as it relates to the youth and empowerment for them, community betterment?
Well, this program is definitely focused on that. And of course, we have the police youth organization, which we continue to work with. So we're actually meeting persons within a wide range from eight from 8 years with the Rising Stars Police Youth Club, and now with that program to persons all the way to 30 years. So we are targeting a wide cross section of the youth, and we are working with them on different levels and in different ways to ensure that there is that level of engagement. Um, and not just what we want to see them doing, but a lot of what they would like to do, but ensuring that, of course, it would fit into society. What is required when you go to work, when you go to school, when you go to church? What is required from you as a young person? And and with that, of course, we are putting um, a lot of effort into bettering the young persons. A lot of times you hear people complaining about, oh, the young people are so rude these days, they're so impatient, there's no empathy, they have no boundaries, no respect. So all of these things that we are working on, and with a lot of the team building activities, you get young persons to respect each other, respect each other's opinions, respect each other's space. So it is very important that we succeed in these programs that we are delivering.
Great stuff. It's now 15 minutes moving up to the hour of 11 a.m. in Surface in Lucia and the Eastern Caribbean. Just before this interesting discussion, permit me to just ask, in terms of the it's been said most of the times when reports do come in sometimes, and identities are being revealed and the police keeps no secrecy. I'm happy you're all ahead, maybe to defend yourselves on that matter as well, because it's a public interest and there should be 100% confidentiality.
Definitely.
And if things are happening, as much as you guys want people to come forward to actually, as witnesses, they may be very hesitant to do so.
It is a concern, and we do not take it that lightly. But persons need to understand the police is not. We find ourselves at the short end of the stick quite a lot, and it's easy to blame the police for anything that goes wrong in society. And we see that on a day-to-day basis. The judicial system is not just the police. for before a matter gets to court, it goes through several different how should I say that, processes, right? As much as the police is the one who you see initially, right? So you, the complainant, you make the report, statement is recorded from you. The person is either charged or summoned to appear before the court. However, we have lawyers, we have justice of the peace, we have the clerk
The court
in
clerks and all
the
that. Yeah.
district court. All of these persons are privy to the information. So to just lay blame on the police and say that they're the ones leaking the information is not fair. It's not fair. I'm not saying that we're not to blame at all, that we may not have some bad eggs amongst us. We are not perfect. We are all human beings. However, we need to get away from that laying blame and pointing fingers. It does not augur well for the community, and it does not help. Because when you have a group of police officers who are already afflicted in so many ways and you keep pouring hot water, you're not going to get the desired effect that you're looking for.
Okay. Clarification purposes, rumor has it that the police, for the late events in terms of Jove, they won't be issuing any permits relating to the crime situation.
That's what I did. So I can I cannot continue to perpetuate speculation. We'll have to wait on official word
According
as
to,
it relates to that. So I'm hearing just what you're hearing.
okay.
That's news to my ears. I was ready to go show.
Trust you. On that note, this is why I say if you have any other talking matters, feel free to inform the public before we end this interesting discussion.
Um, well, we like the corporal spoke about the teams program. Most likely will be well. I am in the process, and I get the corporal is saying, of pleading our case to have the next cohort in Sufre. I spoke to a principal of one of the primary schools recently, and I informed her of the possibility of the program being brought to Sufre, and she was very, very excited. I think it would be a very interesting program, especially for the young persons of Sufre, because a lot of them are unemployed. And with all the resorts around, with all the opportunities around, I think it is an interesting program for them to get into, because the program will help them to build the self confidence, teach them to write a proper CV, teach them to write a proper job, how to approach an interview. Because sometimes you go to an interview and the people are so timid, like they're so scared. So, we want to build that self confidence in them, give them that, do the community projects and the community challenge, give them some sort of pride, some sort of, I did this. You understand? So give them an identification in the community, something that they can lay hold of and say, we did this. So I think it's a project that we cannot wait for the second. The first one is the pilot, and we're already looking past the pilot and looking for the second cohort, which we really want to bring to Sufre. So we're asking Sufre persons to be very excited. When it comes on board, we want to at least have between 12 and 15 participants. It's a 12-week program. It's a very, very interesting 12-week program. And we have just spoken with the fire service. We've brought on board the EMT, one of the persons in charge of EMT, St. Lucia. He's certified on an international level. And he has assured us that for the first cohort, he will be providing the training for persons. So imagine you come in there for that 12-week program and you leave in as you have a certified first aid, you have that certification. But it's not only on a St. Lucia level, it will be internationally recognized. So you have that, you leave the program with your confidence and all of that, learning how to write a proper job application letter, fixing your CV properly, getting that confidence in the community, getting to know your little hidden talents and all of that. Reliability, teamwork, communication, how to manage your feelings, because that's something we don't know how to do a lot of the time. People just bottle up their feelings and then explode. So in the program, we deal with all of that. And then you live in with as a certified in first, you've been certified in first aid. So it's perks upon perks upon perks upon perks. So we can't go wrong. We can't go wrong. Unfortunately, persons who are out of school and are unemployed.
Okay. Well, I was speaking about the information use aspect for sure. Feel free to send the necessary information to us so we can disseminate.
Definitely,
That's
definitely,
not a
definitely,
problem at all.
definitely.
Moving up to the end of the discussion, any final comments?
I just want to implore persons to take a sense of personal responsibility for the season, as Officer Stephen mentioned earlier. The primary responsibility for one's safety is themselves. So if you're going out to party, ensure you have a companion that's reliable. Ensure that you have your personal effects. You're carrying it in a safe manner. A lot of times you see ladies, they don't even have a little bag or something, and jewelry, everything you're exposing, you're advertising more or less. You understand? So we need to keep at the back of our minds. Yes, you want to have fun. Yes, you want to feel a sense of freedom and all of that, but you have a responsibility for your own safety. So just keep that in mind for the season and be nice to each other, respect each other. No is
And,
no.
and most importantly, if you are gonna drink, have a designated driver.
Definitely,
Please do not drink and drive
definitely,
and exercise
definitely,
caution on the road.
definitely, definitely.
With that, I say thank you so much. It has been a great pleasure to have you guys sitting here and having this discourse and educating the public more or less, keeping them informed. And again, if you are going to pursue a report, there are different angles, there are procedures, and it does take time to get the necessary results that you are looking for. And have a great festive season to all of you guys. Look
Thank
forward
you,
to
thank you.
Thank you
more
for having
engagements.
us. All the best.
It's always a pleasure, no problem at all. This has been House Guest for today, Wednesday, the 14th of December, 2022. Do have yourself a